There is a specific kind of freedom we look for in the middle of a summer night. We actively seek out the quiet, the emptiness, and the dark, looking for a temporary escape from the noise of the city. But stepping away from that noise comes with an automatic trade-off. By deliberately walking away from other people, you are systematically stripping away your physical and social safety nets. This diagram illustrates a person's radius of safety. As an individual moves away from the density of civilization, the likelihood of a bystander intervening or emergency services arriving in time effectively drops to zero. You are left entirely alone with whatever occupies the darkness. The pursuit of total privacy requires physical separation, and that physical separation leaves you entirely without a defense. Consider Chris. He was a 17-year-old working a slow night shift at a local pizza shop, directed to run a delivery down an unlit, dead-end rural road well past his usual delivery zone. It was one of those hot, deeply humid nights where the air feels like thick soup. Between the suffocating heat and the absolute absence of streetlights, the environment was already actively suppressing his senses as he pulled up to the property. The delivery instructions printed on the box were highly specific. They told him to park on the back street, walk through the overgrown yard, and knock exclusively on the back door. Without realizing it, Chris was walking onto a preset stage. His teenage brain rationalized the weird instructions immediately. He figured they had a sleeping baby or a broken front porch. Our daily mundane routines, like finishing a shift so we can go home, act as blinders, pushing us forward into environments engineered by someone else. Chris knocks on the glass and waits. No answer. But as he stands there in the dark, he catches a tiny twitch on the cheap curtain hanging behind the door pane. Someone is standing inches away, refusing to open it. Before he can knock again, unmarked cars suddenly pull up on the dark street behind him, boxing in his delivery vehicle. Multiple plainclothes police officers step out. They move entirely in silence, spreading around the perimeter of the sagging house, testing door handles without ever announcing their presence. Chris had walked straight into a massive active police stakeout. As Chris drives away, the reality of the situation settles in. The person behind the curtain wasn't ignoring a delivery. They were monitoring the perimeter. That pizza order served as a low-stakes probe to see if the police would break their cover, turning Chris into a piece of disposable equipment in a high-stakes standoff. Look at this flowchart mapping Chris' location on the property. He is pinned directly between two distinct, logical human forces. This is procedural horror, a terrifying event that operates entirely on strict human rules. The suspect wants to escape. The police want to arrest them. Chris was caught in the middle, but because everyone involved was obeying the basic laws of cause and effect, the situation was ultimately solvable. Now, move from an exposed outdoor field to the presumed absolute safety of a locked family vacation home. A father, his wife, and his two young boys are spending the week at a house they inherited in Delaware. Late one night, the older son complains about a scratching sound in his bedroom. The father assumes it's mice in the walls of an old house. He presses his ear to the baseboards, but the sound isn't an animal. It's the slow, heavy rhythm of human breathing. The father flinches back. Instantly, an aggressive, guttural scream erupts from the drywall itself. A filthy, completely unhinged man bursts from the hallway directly at them, eventually smashing into the glass door of the back deck where the family is desperately trying to hide. Police arrive and tackle the intruder. During the investigation, they discover the house features a forgotten, hidden crawl space. The squatter had been living inside the walls for months, quietly stealing the family's food right under their noses. This blueprint visualizes the problem. The visible, controlled living spaces in white are surrounded by a parasitic network of crawl spaces in red. This scenario destroys the foundational logic of a safe haven. Physical walls and locked doors only offer the illusion of security. They mean absolutely nothing if you do not control the dark, negative spaces existing between them. The first two scenarios operate on physical laws, but what happens when you strip those boundaries away entirely? Two 16-year-old girls ride their bikes out to a pitch-black, completely empty stretch of farmland to drink cheap wine and stargaze. They spot a shooting star. One of the girls leans back and closes her eyes to feel the breeze. To her, her eyes are closed for exactly 5 seconds. She opens them. Her friend is entirely gone. Her friend's bike is missing. The ambient starlight looks wrong, as if someone had physically turned down the brightness at the sky, and the air temperature has suddenly, unexplainably shifted. Confused, she checks the time on her phone. The glowing screen reads exactly 3 a.m. Hours of time have simply vanished without a trace. The next morning, her friend demands an explanation for being abandoned in the field. Both girls clearly remember waking up alone at 3 a.m. Both claim they waited for the other to return, and both explicitly recall calling each other in a panic, yet neither phone log shows a single outgoing call. These two girls stand in the same spot at the same time, yet emerge with two mutually exclusive versions of the truth. When the foundational laws of time and space prove to be unreliable, the mind enters a state of ontological shock, a profound psychological trauma triggered by the collapse of objective logic. There is no police stakeout to map here, and no architectural blueprint to trace. When the basic laws of physics and time disintegrate, the human mind is left completely defenseless against the impossible. Right now, you are probably sitting in a lit room. You know exactly what time it is, and you know who is in the building with you. You are tethered to a predictable, logical reality. We tell ourselves we can easily maintain that control. We decline suspicious pizza delivery runs. We hire construction crews to seal up our crawl spaces with plywood. True horror emerges from the sudden collapse of the physical rules we rely on to navigate the world. The next time you seek out a quiet, isolated spot to clear your head, remember you are volunteering to step off the logical grid. And once you are out there in the dark, you have no choice but to wait for your own